The Carpathian Euroregion is the first established organization that will frame cross-border cooperation between the countries of the former Eastern Bloc. The Euroregion includes more than 14 million people and 140,000 square kilometers.
Tehát egy hatalmas területről, hatalmas térségről van szó, ami már eleve egyedülálló egyébként és különleges mind az Európai Unió.
It is a huge area that is unique and special in the EU and even at global level. In addition, this cooperation includes EU member states, but there are also non-EU member states. I'm thinking of Ukraine. The other four Euroregion states are Romania, Hungary, Slovakia and Poland. Nevertheless, here lies the border of the Schengen zone, which is also an interesting challenge for the Euroregion.
Egyébként pedig itt húzódik a Schengeni övezetnek a határa is, ami szintén egy érdekes kihívást jelent.
While in the 1990s, a strong willingness to cooperate existed, after some time, among the members, this was not tight enough, says Vice President of Szabolcs-Szatmár-Bereg County Council, István Szabó.
Ez egy folyamat lehetett. 1993.
It could be a process. In 1993, the former county executive and the leaders of affected regions rightly recognized the opportunities from which they had been previously excluded. All those involved were a former socialist country. The European integration and the promise of this potential and perceived opportunities definitely hung in front of their eyes, and they found several points of cooperation options. Do not forget that national borders have been redrawn in the 20th century in these regions. Due to the special demands formulated by this unique situation, the people who live here, otherwise less prosperous economy and public life, had a demand for a better life and more opportunities to open up new horizons. It is difficult to judge, so many years later, to be able to determine exactly what are the reasons that led to the weakening willingness to cooperate. I think that combined effect of many factors caused this, but in the initiative, which was launched in the 2007-13 EMPI project, we assumed that it would be wise to acquiesce in this situation, explore the reasons that led to the current situation and set up new goals, new priorities, designating the first steps so we can ensure to make successful this extraordinary European regional cooperation in the 2020 new EU programming period. After all, this is still the largest Euroregion with more than 14 million people, and this should be inserted into various forms of cooperation of the EU, no matter it is an interregional, transnational, EU strategies along with various collaborations or even cross-border bilateral initiatives. The opportunities will be fitted in these systems. I think that this is a serious responsibility. You need to grasp all the tools, especially now that the county's main task is the development
Végső
policy.
soron az itt élő emberek, a határmenti régiók polgárainak a javára próbáljuk hasznosítani.
The sustainable development of border regions by efficient operation of the Carpathian Euroregion project was a development of 4 countries, joint development of more than 520,000 euros with 6 partners. However, the sustainable development of the border regions are facilitated not only with this project now ending, but other sources can also help, as the managing director of the office assisting the formation of the strategy highlighted.
Ez a projekt, amiről most szó van, egy 4 országot érintő projekt.
This project is a project involving 4 countries. The address is Sustainable Development of Border Regions by Efficient Operation of the Carpathian Euroregion. And if we are talking about projects, it is important to know that the EU has recently started the new budget cycle. How can the different programs facilitate further cooperation?
Esetleg olyan dolog, amit ezzel a szférával kapcsolatosan mindenképpen kiemelne.
Én azt gondolom, hogy stratégiai időpontban vagyunk ezzel a munkával.
I think that we are in strategic time. The joint project is the centerpiece of a strategy until 2020, which designates not only the priorities, but it has 46 cooperation projects that have also been identified. The question is how it will be implemented who they will be financed by. Now, that is why we are in this strategic time, since the 2014 to 2020 EU cycle is commenced, and this affects our region through a number of programs, each with its own budget. These two were multilateral. I could enlist now 10 programs with a significant budget for the Euro region and be able to finance cooperation projects.
Jelentős költségvetéssel és a mi területünket, ennek az együttműködésnek a területét érintő módon tudnak finanszírozni együttműködési projekteket. Elkészült egy stratégiai dokumentum, ami részletesen vizsgálta az adottságokat és lehetőségeket, és beazonosított számos prioritást. De hogyha józan parasztésszel próbálunk gondolkozni, ugye itt van egy terület.
A strategic document which examined the capabilities and opportunities and identified a number of priorities has been compiled, but we see that there is a territorial unit in which more than 14 million people live. This concludes a number of options, for example, economic development and economic cooperation. I think that a market of 14 million people can be very exciting for many companies. It is a market that is here near us. If you're thinking in tourism, many of them are there again. The number of potential visitors can be interesting for any country. If you look at Nyíregyháza Sóstó has exactly the same guests who mostly come from the neighboring member states. So I think it is a good potential for cooperation in tourism. The cooperation has a more role anyway, because here our neighboring Ukraine, which is now classified as a crisis zone. I think you can grow in the long term in the region as well, when there is peace and development in Ukraine is realized. The cooperation will also help in this issue. Then it is also important that energy supply is based on renewable energies. This also may play a role in such cooperation. I think that there are many and interesting areas, which is not only important for an overall strategy, but also affect our daily lives as well.
Segítheti ezt a folyamatot. Számos olyan terület van, ami nem csak egy általános stratégia számára fontos, vagy éppen döntéshozók számára fontos, hanem befolyásolhatja a mindennapi életünket is.
A projekt 2013. december 24-ével indult, és
The project started on the 24th of December 2013 and was originally planned for 22 months. Finally, we extended the implementation of the project and therefore it ends on the 25th of December 2015. The main aim of the project was to get back to life the Carpathian Euroregion and find common goals that can bring back the Carpathian Euroregion into a center role. It was a good period for the project and for the strategy itself, which we implemented within the framework of the project, since the CE had a previous strategic development program, which ended in 2013. The new strategy is already aiming the EU for the 2014-2020 period. It was very important to take into consideration the goals that are important for us, but I had to pay attention to those priorities which are included in the new EU programming and cross-border cooperation programs.
De figyelni azokra a célokra és prioritásokra is, amelyek az Európai Unió új programozási és határmenti együttműködési programjaiban prioritásként szerepelnek.
Mik a fő célok ezen belül, hiszen
What are the main objectives? After all, we have a new strategy.
vannak prioritások, de
There are priorities, but are there major lines of bearing? How could the 5 central regions think together?
központi régió.
Nyilván olyan céljaink is vannak, hogy a kisebb, tehát az
Our aim is to strengthen the cooperation among people. This can bring the development of tourism and ecotourism, or managing problems arising from the climate change, the introduction of alternative energies, all the goals that are supported by the EU. The economic development is also very important. About 50 projects have been formulated so far. These are from the culinary development to the development of bicycle paths in the Carpathian Euroregion. But there are also a number of projects in which, for example, the introduction of new information and communication tools are targeted, which will help the innovation and development of the area CE.
Kárpátok Eurorégió egész területének a fejlesztését segíthetik.
In all over Europe, including non-EU countries, there are around 200 cross-border structures, and most than half of them are Euroregions, so some more than 100. Well, it's very special because normally Euroregions are composed by authorities from 2 countries, maybe from 3. But in this case, this Euroregion is composed by authorities from 5 countries. And then even one of them is non-EU, and it is a very special country like it is Ukraine. Well, the most important is that the 5 different type of authorities from different countries, they have made a very complex exercise of identifying common challenges. And then the strategy is proposing common answers to question of infrastructure, to question of education, public services, together. So that means it's very difficult to have 5 different programs that will be very difficult to implement. But suddenly, if you put all of them together to find the minimum common denominator and propose shared actions, it's much easier to achieve the good results.